91.3 WVKR Independent Radio, Poughkeepsie, New York. Let's get our guest on the line, Mr. Mike Amari. Mike, you with me?
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful. Okay. Well, thanks for your time here today, Mike. Yeah, let me just tell listeners that you are tuned into 91.3 WVKR Independent Radio, tuned into LocalMotion. Our guest today is Program Manager at Opus 40 and founder of Chosen Family Presents, Mike Amari. So thanks for your time here today. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Rita.
Yeah, of course. Mike, you and I met when you were doing BSP and Kingston and putting on some legendary shows with many, many people loving that place. So that's when you and I met. You're from, let's step back a little bit and let's tell people a little bit more about Mike. You're from New Jersey, correct?
Yep, southern New Jersey,
Yeah.
which is kind of a little bit more like it is up here. It's more rural, but there's no mountain, it's just flat. So, but it's a lot of farms and stuff,
Yeah. When did you start getting into music? Teenager, or talk to me about your path of learning about music and getting into it.
My parents had me take like piano lessons when I was a kid, with the carrot being dangled that if you learn piano, then you can play whatever instrument you want after that. I wanted to play drums, but I think that they kind of steered me to guitar because I didn't want to hear drums in the basement,
Right.
So I started playing guitar pretty young, I think like maybe 11 or 12, and taking lessons on that, and started writing songs and had a band like even before I was in high school with friends, just really bad stuff. But and
what was the name
so
of your band? What was the name of your band?
I don't even want to say. It was pretty bad.
Oh, was it? I always love hearing musicians' first names.
Embarrassing, not anything offensive, just embarrassing.
But hey, you're 11 or 12. What the heck,
Yeah. But no, we just played. We played shows in like friends' houses, in their kitchens. Even like our first show was in a friend from school's kitchen, like with the parents looking on and everything. Yeah. And then we just kept that going into high school, and then I went to college for like a music business degree, kind of a combo major, which was up in Oneonta, up this way.
Yeah.
And kept playing music, and started putting on some shows just with my own band for the most part, but with other bands and in venues, and also in more like DIY type spaces, and that's actually how I met the guys that I ran BSP with in Kingston.
Wow.
Was in college, and we were all putting on shows and had our bands and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, wow. And then how did you actually find like Kingston and the Hudson Valley area? What brought you here?
Yeah. So then I was in the city for a little bit after college. I was like interning and working at like a video editing company, mostly doing like sound design stuff. Sort of like being in a studio, but not quite. And then a friend of mine from college was living in Woodstock and working at a studio, and was like, "Hey, there's a little bit of work up here at the studio if you want to, come up." So I was struggling to find more work down there, and I moved into a house in Woodstock. I think it was like $300 a month.
Nice.
Which sounds crazy now, but so I was just that's kind of how I landed in the area. Shortly after that, my friends from college took over the space at BSP in Kingston, and we reconnected, and just grew organically from there.
It certainly did. What you guys did there, I really hope you know how much it meant to so many people, and I know so many people miss it. That venue that you have there. So thank you for all the music you've brought to the Hudson Valley and still continue to do so. And then Chosen Family, I love the name. Was that happening when, did you call it that when you were at BSP, or is this a new venture?
Yeah, so, long story short, I knew that our lease was going to be up at BSP, which would have been in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And, without totally going into it, the person who owns the building there is just like, someone who's just not interested in building community and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Just buying and
So,
acquiring things. Yes.
yeah, owns a bunch of properties in Kingston and stuff. So I created Chosen Family as I was exiting BSP, late 2019. I created that and was just going to present shows and other types of events around the area, some at BSP, but some at other venues as well, kind of like matching the show to the right
Mm-hmm.
venue, and using unorthodox spaces as well was something else that I was very interested in.
Mm-hmm.
And then, 2020 happened. So, the irony is BSP would have closed anyway because of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
There's no outdoor spaces there, and there was just no income would be happening there. So 2020, kind of everything came to a standstill, and that's actually how I came to making the zine that I make now, that we put out every month, which is a free zine. It's a show paper listing of all the events going on, and then just like local art, writing, etc.
And how do people get that?
Well, we print about 1,000 of them, and we put them around from like Beacon up to Hudson, Catskill.
Mm-hmm.
And on our Instagram, we post where we're going to put them. And once they go out, that's it. It's like a print only thing. I wish we could do more, but it's kind of like, the most that we can do with our time and
Right.
energy. But,
Right.
but yeah, I was just missing putting on shows, and I'd had some bad experiences, I would say, in like 2021, trying to put on events where things get canceled or there's suddenly a spike in COVID, and, you're like, should I be putting on this event indoors somewhere? It's just
Right.
was pretty difficult to navigate as someone who puts on events. So I started doing the zine, and at the beginning of last year, 2022, and then shortly after that, Opus 40 got in touch, and one thing led to another, and I'm overseeing the programming there now. So I'm still doing the zine because I really enjoy doing it.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I think it's like a great resource for like a sort of specific slice of the music community up here.
Yeah. 100%. Tell us where to find this on your Instagram. What page is that?
Yeah, so it's just at Chosen Family Presents on Instagram, and like I said, at the top of every month, we post about where we're putting them and when, and and you can also find out about all the shows that I'm presenting on there as well. So,
and if somebody wants to become a sponsor or a donor for your monthly zine, they can do that as well.
Yeah, that's all in there. There's also chosenfamilypresents.com, has all the same information if you're not on social media.
Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah. There's still a few people that aren't. Isn't it amazing? But there are. Absolutely.
Well, okay, so I'm on social media, but this is like a side motivation for the zine, with like putting all the shows in one place where you don't need to rely on social media
right
to find out about stuff.
Right. So what do you do?
And maybe what's that?
What do you do to find out about all the shows? Go to all these different venues' websites and look at what's happening?
Yeah, we do, dig around and take pictures of posters, that are out in the community. And then we create a big spreadsheet that we use to make it. And then a bunch of the local venues send us their stuff every month as well. So,
No, that's cool. So yeah, chosenfamilypresents.com or on Instagram as well. So check that out and keep learning about all the great events here in the Hudson Valley. And oh my gosh, you are like the perfect fit for Opus 40. Yeah. I was at the Sun Ra show last year. Oh man. just, I've been going there. I've been in the Hudson Valley since the 70s. I'm old.
Mm.
But I've been going to Opus 40 for years. And I got to tell you, just a little, just coming up in my head right now. I remember Earth Day when I was working for another radio station doing marketing. I went to go see Tad at Opus
Mm.
40 on Earth Day. And
Mm-hmm.
he just like gave me this amazing amount of history of the place. And,
Mm. Mm-hmm.
just to see it physically is awe-inspiring. But when you learn a little more about Harvey Fight, and it's really such a treasure we have. And I'm sad to say a lot of people in the Hudson Valley still aren't familiar with Opus 40. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know,
Um, so it's, yeah, I mean, I think that's sort of my mission there with the events, is to bring not just people to the site, but people who have never been there before, don't know anything about it. Maybe they haven't visited it in 15 years,
hmm
all that kind of stuff, and just sort of, bringing in a new generation of people
right.
who really admire it. I mean, everyone's just blown away. If anyone out there doesn't know what it is, it's a giant bluestone sculpture, land art piece, that one man made over like 37 years. So
hmm hmm
the occasionally events happen on the sculpture, but most of the concerts are on the meadow next to it. So you can kind of come before the show and explore the site, explore the museum, and get some of the history, and then see a great show.
Yeah, absolutely. Listeners, you can visit opus40.org. Harvey Fight, who came to the area and also worked at Bard College for years, established the fine arts department there, was an amazing talent who kind of just learned how to how to do this sculpture. He traveled and he purchased, I think, Opus 40 back in 1938, built the house, got married, and then all of a sudden started wanting to do press to tell more people about Opus 40, and it's
Mm-hmm.
just, it's a nonprofit organization. I know you guys take
Mm-hmm.
memberships as well.
Mm-hmm.
And opus40again.org. It's a sculpture park. There's a museum there. There's a bunch of acres of meadows. And also, when you have your events, what I love that you did last year, which was the first time I've been there since it's, changed hands now and you guys are running it. I love the food trucks that you have there. And
Mm-hmm.
you just made it like really inviting, like bring a picnic blanket and a blanket or a chair or whatever makes you comfortable and hang out for the evening.
Yeah, we have like a really great lineup. It's not the same food every event. We have a bunch of different local food vendors coming in. We usually have Stockade Bar, people might know, in Uptown Kingston,
Yeah.
doing like a pop-up cocktail truck.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we also do events where there's like local makers and vendors there as well. So it's really, I mean, it's meant to be a community space. It's a little tricky because it's not in a town.
Mm-hmm.
It's out in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's a little out of the way, but, I think like, again, one of my missions there this summer is to just make it more of a community space, invite people in, to be part of these events, do a lot of events that are like by donation or even free.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
You,
And just featuring local musicians as well.
yeah, which is, yeah, perfect. And you also, oh gosh, what was I just going to say? My brain. Okay. You just had Community Day there this past weekend.
Right. So that's one of the the big ones that's been happening for years, where it's a free day, and there's a lot of like kids activities and local vendors and stuff. But we have some other things this summer too that are by donation. We have a Pride event for the first time there,
Mm-hmm.
which is Sunday, June 4th, which is called Pride Family Picnic, which is like come and picnic on the lawn. We're going to have entertainment for kids. It's like a totally family friendly event, and as well as like queer owned businesses there, food vendors, drinks, etc.
And that's going to be on Sunday, June 4th from 12 to 4. That sounds really
Hmm.
cool. This weekend, excuse me, holiday weekend, you have Upstate Films there
Mm.
too. Um,
Yeah.
that sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, that that I think that was another partnership that was born out of COVID. I think
Mm,
in 2021, Upstate Films and Opus started doing films out there. Uh, just as a way of gathering, in a safe way outdoors. So it's turned into a real favorite of everyone. So this weekend, Friday and Saturday, we have two programs.
yes,
Um,
yes.
they're kind of on a theme, I guess, a little bit like Beltane Renaissance, damsel in distress sort of films. But one film on Friday is like really adult, I will say,
Mm-hmm.
and sort of graphic, and it's an 18 plus film. That's Midsummer. And then on Saturday we have Princess Brides, which is a classic and
Right.
kid friendly and
Kid
everything.
friendly.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
so two sides of the same coin there. Yeah.
Yeah. And I see you have on June 3rd, Yuma Sultan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Great stuff. And also Hudson Valley's own Laura Stevenson will be
Mm-hmm.
there on June 10th. And your shows are like 6 o'clock. They're not like late nights or anything like that. Obviously, um, I just want to really make listeners aware of that. It's like you're not going to this outdoor park at 9 or 10 o'clock and seeing a show. You're going early, you're watching a beautiful sunset, and you're probably done with most shows by like 8:39. Correct?
Yeah. The whole thing out there is that it's like such a beautiful site, and it's just really like natural, and so we don't do like a bunch of lighting, like stage lighting and stuff like that. Like we like the shows to end with the sunset. So yeah, most of them start at like 6 p.m. and are done by like 8 or so, depending on the time of year. But yeah,
Yeah.
so it
Yeah.
is, and but it is outdoors. So if there's heavy rain or something, we tend to cancel shows.
Right, right. So always check on social media or the website or however,
Hmm.
and people can buy tickets online again, opus40.org. You also have some cool workshops, classes. You even do weddings at Opus 40. I
Mm-hmm.
love this mushroom walks. Uh, mushroom cocktail walks. You've got reggae happening. Um, on Sun Ra, but they're sold out, so we can't really talk too much about them unless you want to get on a waiting list. And good luck with
Hmm.
that. Um, yeah, I just played before you came on air. Etron de Lair.
Yep.
Wow,
Yeah. Yeah.
world music. Do you know where are they from?
They are from like the Tuareg region, which is mostly in Niger, but I think there's parts that are in Mali, and I think it's kind of a region that spans a few countries, but
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
sort of West African. People call it like desert blues music, but it's really I don't if people out there are familiar with some of the West African guitar players that have become pretty well known in the last couple of years, like Mdou Mokhtar and Bombino. Those guys basically learned from this band
Mm,
how to play electric guitar.
mm, mm.
They're kind of the OG electric guitar band from that region,
Wow.
and they only just come over to the United States earlier this year for the first time.
Wow. So how did you find
Um,
them?
Well, it's mostly because of the record label that's putting out the music by a couple of these artists that I just mentioned.
Gotcha.
Sahel Sounds, really great record label. And there's a couple record labels that do some crazy stuff, like release records by these bands that were recorded like on a cell phone,
Love it.
at a wedding or something like that. But it's like the music is so good, and by releasing it, especially in the States and in Europe, it really opens these bands up to a whole new audience, and then ultimately allows them to come and tour and do it in a live setting, and that's just like on a whole other level. So yeah, so I've done a few shows with Mdu Mokhtar at BSP,
Mm-hmm.
and when I was talking to their people about Opus 40, they mentioned that this band was actually coming over to the States for the first time this year, and I was just like, yeah, just let me know when we can do it.
Wow. 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 How cool. How cool.
Yeah.
Some of the other music that you sent me, which we're going to be listening to after you and I are done talking here. Of course, Laura Stevenson, we just mentioned her. She'll be there June 10th at Opus 40. And also Sessa. Talk to me about that.
hmm Yeah, Sesa is an artist that I've sort of become obsessed with. I think I have a memory like early in the pandemic, like winter 2020. I have a memory of like just I was listening to a lot of music and stumbled into Sesa's music and just sort of became obsessed. And so that was another like happy surprise where I was talking to a booking agent about some other stuff, and they were like, "Well, Sesa's coming over this," and I was like, "Yes." Like,
And where are
so
they from?
they're from Brazil. They're from Sao Paulo, yeah.
Uh-huh.
And it's sort of, if anyone's familiar with Brazilian music, it's sort of in a tradition of like psychedelic bossa nova music,
Wow. Okay.
Os Mutantes or Tom Zay or some of these bands. Like, it's sort of like if the Beach Boys were doing lounge music or something. It's like, but it's really good. I mean, and the vocal harmonies and stuff are really intricate.
Right. Right.
So and this kind of ties back to the chosen family thing, which is when I was leaving BSP, I was able to shift my priorities to only presenting shows that I want to present,
Mm-hmm.
as
Yeah.
opposed to filling a calendar week in and week out,
Right. Right.
where you're just grinding through it, and you get to do stuff you like along the way, but you're also just trying to fill a calendar and fill the room and that kind of stuff. So so there's probably a dozen shows that I'm presenting at Opus 40 this summer as Chosen Family Presents that are like shows that I really believe in and artists that I really believe in.
And that must be an unbelievable, fulfilling feeling.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Sesa is going to be at Opus 40 on Sunday, June 25th. So again, tickets at opus40.org. Because we're a non-commercial radio station, I can't mention prices, but they're very affordable. That much I can tell you. Any
Yeah,
listeners
yeah.
want to know about shows, I mean, super affordable, super affordable. Um,
Yeah, this is one of the reasons why I'm at Opus 40 is, I mean, it's because they're a nonprofit, but we both agree on just keeping things really accessible, pricing wise, and also just like I said, sliding scale stuff, doing community focused events, all that kind of stuff.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's great. And again, you have another community happenings workshop also on July 8th. From 12 to 3. I love the fact you're doing reggae, you're doing jazz in the valley on July 8th.
hmm
So you've got a little bit of everything going on, and some afternoon concerts too, which are kind of cool. Looks like July 9th, you've got pneumatic tubes coming.
hmm Yeah, so on Sundays, 1 p.m. in the afternoon, virtually every Sunday, there will be a local music act playing, and that is included with your ticket to visit the site, or if you want to come for the music, it includes the site visit. Um,
Wow.
uh, so it's kind of a 2-for-1 situation. So and those are all like local acts. Pneumatic Tubes. He actually lives in Texas now, but he's from the area. Jesse, he plays in Mercury Rev and with like Beth Orton and
Okay.
a bunch of other people. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the whole album he made, like every song title is like a local hidden gem, like Big Deep or Magic Meadow or, these types of places. So, so it's kind of a perfect fit
Yeah,
to have
yeah,
them at Opus.
absolutely. And it looks like you have exhibit gallery
Mm.
events too. You guys have so much going on all summer. It's open now, and you're open Thursday through Mondays, correct?
Yep.
Yep.
hmm
ten
And
thirty
events are mostly Friday, Saturday nights, and then Sunday afternoons.
Sunday
Yeah.
afternoons. Yeah. Tell me about some of the other events that you have coming up that you're excited about this summer.
Well, I mean, I think so. Like I said, there's a number of events that I'm presenting as Chosen Family Presents, which is like my specific taste in music. But the reality is that Opus was doing very robust programming before I came in.
Mm-hmm.
Very eclectic, very diverse. I don't know if it's promotion or just I don't know what it was, but people just did not necessarily know that it was an active venue
Yeah.
and how much stuff they were putting on. So I've tried to continue that and then just focus on promoting it and getting the word out about it. So there's all kinds of music coming through. There's an Indian music and dance performance on Friday, July 28th, which is called Navatman. They're from the city. There's local acts like Lara Hope and the Arctones, which is like rockabilly from Kingston.
Yeah.
There's like you said, jazz or sort of
You also have Larry Grenadier, who's pretty,
yeah.
renowned, as well as his wife Rebecca. So that's
Yeah.
happening as well. You know what I think is cool too? You're having a family circus weekend at
Yep.
the
Single
end.
Stiff Family Circus. Yep.
Yeah, yeah, and it's yeah, no, it's just a really amazing lineup, and there's something there for everybody. Opus 40 is uh every time I go there I marvel, and it's just amazing what one man started. And I got to tell you, back in the, what was it, late 80s or 90s, they used to have some music there every once in a while.
hmm
Orleans used to play there, and Digital
hmm
Dolphins played there, and I saw them. That was Dave Brubeck's son, Danny Brubeck.
Oh,
And Mike
yeah.
D'Amico played there, and Rob Leone, who was a really great bassist here in the Hudson Valley. He's since passed away, and you used to be able to see them up up
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
stone. There's a lot of work being done there too, though, right? With all that work.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say infamously, Sonny Rollins played and recorded a live album there
Ah,
in the
nice.
80s.
Mm.
And during the performance, they were on the sculpture and the audience was on the meadow. And during the
Yes.
performance, he like jumped down off a ledge and he broke his ankle.
Oh no! Oh
And
my gosh!
it's on film. Yeah, yeah. If you Google Sonny Rollins Opus 40, you'll find it.
Ah,
And he played the rest of the concert on the ground. It's pretty incredible. And there's a poster that we have at Opus 40 that I think is from the late 80s that was like Richie Havens, Tony Braxton, Orleans, like you said, all playing there.
yeah.
Um, so and to me, that was a big inspiration for bringing Sun Ra Orchestra there.
Mm-hmm.
That's sort of there's a specific slice of spiritual jazz, cosmic music that just feels like it's made for that
Mm-hmm.
place.
Mm-hmm.
So I was able to bring them last year, and again this year it is sold out. But hopefully we'll just make it a thing every summer, and people can come and experience it. But yes, there is a lot of restoration work happening. They're actually almost done for the work for this year. They kind of start as early as they can, which is usually like April because it's just too
Too
cold and
cold.
icy and stuff.
Yeah.
So they start in April and they work for about 2 months, and it's this incredible. It's mostly stonemasons from Vermont, a place called blanking on the name right now. Stone Trust,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and then some local guys as well. And it's just like a team of stonemasons that are some of the best in the country, and they take a section of the sculpture and they break it down to the ground basically and build it back up again the
Wow.
way that Harvey had it.
Wow.
And it's incredible. Yeah. So there's a whole big section of the sculpture that was starting to, wobble and break down and become, a little bit more of like a tripping hazard and stuff like that. And now after this week, it'll be done. And I encourage people to come and check it out.
Yeah, yeah, Opus 40. Ah, yeah. And I think they also have a mailing list. If you go to their website, you can sign up for a mailing list because sometimes subscribing on social, you miss stuff. A lot of people subscribe to
Yeah.
thousands of different things, and unless you're on 24/7, you miss a lot. I always like suggesting email because you're really more likely to see that actually. So
Yeah, absolutely.
opus40.org. And Mike, also Chosen Family, great name, and thanks for what you do because people like you is what we need, and you have such an eclectic style and sense of music that it really is supported well here in the Hudson Valley. And so I just thank you for doing what you do because we need you. We need music like what you bring, and you're just the perfect fit for Opus 40. I couldn't be happier for you and that partnership that you guys have formed. So keep on doing that. So yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Rita. Thanks for having me on, and
Yeah.
look forward to seeing you at some shows this
Yeah.
summer. And
100%. I got one more question because I'm going to play some music
yeah,
now. Deerhoof. Tell me.
yeah.
Tell me about them, please.
I mean, Deerhoof. So I also, for about 5 or 6 years, I oversaw the music for O Positive Festival
Yeah.
in Kingston.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the years that I was doing that, I had Deerhoof play the festival, and they're kind of a legendary band. And I guess I had never really paid too much attention to them, and they just blew me away on their live show.
Where are they from?
That was probably. They're from all over the place. I think they kind of started in San Francisco. Some of them are in Brooklyn now, but they're really like spread out around the country. But they're just like, I mean, they've put out so much music over like 20 years. I mean, they're very prolific. But it's really like angular, sort of punk influenced music, but it's very I don't know, like free jazz influenced, spastic. I don't know. It's really hard to describe. They're a very, very unique band.
Mm-hmm.
And they sort of have this like cult following now because they've just been doing it for so long. And I'm really looking forward to presenting them at Opus 40 because that was a show that I wasn't sure that Opus 40, the nonprofit, would, greenlight,
right?
Because it's a little bit more out there.
Uh-huh.
And I was like pleasantly surprised that they wanted to do it, and so that's a show I'm really looking forward to. That's not till September
7th.
It is actually we are actually selling tickets for that one. So
you know what else I think, and I've been doing this, and I've been like talking about it on air. Even if you don't know a band, and just go. I really personally have been trying to really stick to that and just going to see music I'm not at all familiar with and opening up my musical knowledge and just learning about more music and what you present for me is perfect to that because a lot of it I'm not that familiar with and I want to learn more about it because it's unique, it's eclectic, it's different than what you hear every single day. And it's just cool stuff. So I will definitely be bringing my blanket or chair to Opus 40 this summer and spending some time and checking out some unfamiliar music that I want to make more familiar in my routine. So again, thank you for that, Mike. And like I said, I'll be mentioning Opus 40 every week on Musical Happenings. And I will see you there, my friend, and thank you for your time here today. And we're going to take a listen to Laura Stevenson now. Living Room is the name of the song, Living Room NY, and she'll be at Opus 40 on June 10th. So, Mike, people can find you at chosenfamily.com, right? chosenfamily.com.
chosenfamilypresents.com. Yep.
chosenfamilypresents.com, and also on Instagram you're there as well. And then Opus 40 is opus40.org, and you can sign up for emails there. They have memberships as well and all kinds of great stuff happening. So again, thank you for what by the way, real quick, and I keep doing this, I keep thinking, you play out. Are you playing any of these shows? What are you doing musically for yourself?
I'm not playing any shows right now. My partner Shauna Falana, who played with for a long time, she actually has a new project that is debuting at Opus this Friday called The Goddess Party, and it's like a 7-piece band and a 30-piece choir.
What?
It's all women, and it's and they're doing interpretations of songs, and so she's just been working on that for months. And I think probably late summer or fall we'll do a few shows doing our thing, but we've kind of put it on the back burner for sure.
Wow, that sounds incredible.
Yeah.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah.
All
so
right.
Keep an eye out for that, the Goddess Party.
The Goddess Party, yeah. Oh my gosh, wonderful, awesome. Mike, thank you. Be well, stay safe, and I'll see you at Opus 40.
Yeah, thank you so much, Rita.
Yeah, my pleasure. Take care. Thanks.
All right.
Bye. 91.3 WVKR Independent Radio, Poughkeepsie, New York. Mike Amari from Opus 40. Again, if you're not familiar with it, trust me when I say you're going to love this place. I've never heard anyone not being enchanted by it. Opus40.org. It's right outside of Saugerties, New York. Very easy to get to. Back roads in the woods, but really easy to get to. And also chosenfamilypresents.com. All the great shows that Mike is putting on. Let's take a listen now to an artist that will be at Opus 40 on June 10th. Her name, Laura Stevenson, 91.3 WVKR.
I wanna feel you restless. I wanna wake up from it. I wanna see you stare at ceilings until you fall back to sleep. I wanna feel you restless. I wanna wake up from it. I wanna see you stare at ceilings until you fall back to sleep. In the waiting room, in the waiting room, in the waiting room. It's a little stuffy in here. I wanna wring my hands in open elevators. A shaky finger, I am pushing the door open button. I wanna feel the urge to press against my neighbors while I keep you in my mind. I keep you in my mind all of the time here. In the waiting room, in the waiting room, in the waiting room. One is moving, one is standing. In the waiting room, in the waiting room, in the waiting room. Wonder where we'll land when we fall straight into routine. Oh, we'll be strangers for weeks, to crazy, lazy till I leave again. Then I jump out of my skin until you tell me where I am. Living room, New York. Living room, New York. I'd give an arm just to hear you in the dark saying, living room, New York. So I'll follow
cá, moço lindo desse lugar. Vem me namorar, sabe o mundo vai acabar. Chega mais pra cá, moço lindo desse lugar. Gosta por gostar, vem o mundo te procurar.
.3 WVKR Independent Radio, Poughkeepsie, New York. That was music by Sessa. I might be saying it incorrectly. Ghost Star du Mondo. And Sessa will be at Opus 40 on Sunday, June 25th. And the Sunday shows there start at 1 p.m. Laura Stevenson started that small set off. We heard the track called Living Room NY. Laura Stevenson will be at Opus 40 on June 10th. You can subscribe to their email list, stay abreast of what's happening there, because there's all kinds of events, family events, community events, all genres of music. And if you just want to go walk around this beautiful park, you can just also do that. But it's a place you should know of if you live in and around the Hudson Valley. And if you don't, it's worth a day trip from anywhere. Opus40.org. It's really a treasure here in the Hudson Valley. Thank you to Mike Amari for being my guest today on the show. A pleasure talking with you. And I look forward to spending some nice summer evenings at the beautiful Opus 40 in Saugerties, New York. I hope to see some of you there as well. It's 5:50, and we got about 10 minutes left, and then we will be back next Wednesday. But now is the time of the show where we do what's called musical happenings, in the hopes that you go support live music and that you support local live music. So we do this in alphabetical order, and here's what's happening that I know of this week. We'll start with the Bardavon and UPAC. Info tickets at bardavon.org. The Bardavon Gala is June 17th with Patti LuPone. June 24th with Amy Mann. July 19, Big Thief at UPAC. July 28, Iron and Wine. Barnstock in Woodstock, also barnstockny.com. June 3, Matt Garrity's New York Quartet. Bearsville Theater in Woodstock, also bearsvilletheater.com. This Saturday, May 27th, Bob Dylan birthday celebration. May 28th, the Bluegrass Festival. Bethel Woods Center. Info and tickets at bethelwoodcenter.org. June 1 is Hollywood Vampires. June 29, James Taylor. July 1, Robert Plant and Alison Krauss. Caramore in Katona. Info at caramore.org. June 17th is opening night with Audra McDonald. June 18, Hot Jazz. City Winery in Montgomery. Also at citywinery.com/Hudson Valley. July 1, Mark Broussard. July 2, Judy Collins. July 9, Damn the Torpedoes. And tonight, starting the monthly songwriter series hosted by Annalise and Ryan, featuring Dan Zlatnik and Roseanne Fino. That's tonight at City Winery. Colony in Woodstock, also colonywoodstock.com. Tonight, Misty Mountain Ramblers. Thursday, Sky Daddy and what? Friday, Professor Louie and the Chromatics. Saturday, Divine Sweater. Sunday, Mark Black Band. And every Monday is an open mic at Colony. Dogwood in Beacon, also at dogwoodbeacon.com. Thursday, Stephen Clare. Friday, Abby Hollander Band. And Saturday, Maynard and the Musties. At the Falcon in Marlborough and live at thefalcon.com. Thursday, Arlie Rose of Sister Sparrow. Friday, Fred Thomas of the JBs. Saturday, Brian Mitchell and James Maddock. Sunday, Marty Ehrlich Trio Express with Stephen Bernstein. Fisher Center at Bard College. Info at fishercenter.bard.edu. June 3, Hudson Valley Chamber Music Circle at Olin Hall. June 10, Isidore String Quartet. The Spiegel Tent opens June 22nd with Britain and the Sting. Howland Chamber Music Circle at Howland Cultural Center in Beacon. Info and tickets at howlandmusic.org. June 4th, Anthony McGill clarinet and Gloria Cheen on piano. Jazz Forum in Tarrytown, also at jazzforumarts.org. This Friday and Saturday, 2 shows each night featuring Michael Rodriguez Quartet. Levon Helm Studio in Woodstock and also at levonhelm.com. May 26th is Jess Williamson. June 2, Helm Family Midnight Ramble. June 11, Leo Kotke. June 16, Spirit Family Reunion. Maverick Concert Series in Woodstock. Tickets at maverickconcerts.org. June 3, Maverick Open House. June 10th, the Woodstock Book Fest Story Slam. Opus 40 in Saugerties. Info and tickets at opus40.org. June 2nd, Honky Tonk with the Ulsterados. June 3, Yuma Sultan's Aboriginal Music Society. Saratoga Jazz Festival, June 24th and 25th, with numerous performers including Snarky Puppy, Bonnie Raitt, Angelique Kidjo, and more. Info at saratoga.com/Summer Jazz Festival. Sugarloaf Performing Arts Center. Info at sugarloafpacny.com. June 2nd, The Bacon Brothers. June 8, Ricky Skaggs. The Stissing Center in Pine Plains, also stissingcenter.org. June 2nd is 12th Night Baroque Ensemble. Tarrytown Music Hall in Tarrytown, also tarrytownmusichall.org. June 2 is Tusk, the Fleetwood Mac tribute. June 3, stand-up legend Bobby Collins. Town Crier in Beacon and towncrier.com. Every Thursday is an open mic. Friday, Paul Brower on the salon stage, and on the main stage, Aztec Two-Step. Saturday on the salon stage at Town Crier, Chahoe Han. Saturday on the main stage, Black Magic Santana Tribute. Sunday brunch with the Lake Trio, and Sunday evening birthday bash with Old Bob. Last but not least, Follow the Arrow One-Day Festival, featuring Marco Benevento, Rubble Bucket, the Barr Brothers, Upstate, and more. June 17th at Arrowwood Farms in Accord. Tickets at marcobenevento.com. And that does it for me. We've got one more track that we're going to squeeze in here from Deerhoof. It's called Plant Thief, and they're going to be at Opus 40 on Thursday, September 7th. Come back next Wednesday from 4 to 6 p.m. I'm so thrilled to be welcoming 2 guests, Glenn David Andrews and Carolyn Wonderland. and I'm going to have 2 pairs of tickets to give away.